Before we go on to the next question, earlier you brought up a good point that I would like for you to share. You're talking about the left brain and the right brain and how the two should come together. Can you explain that for the audience?
Yes. So a lot of the QHHT clients that I get, many of them, I think it's just because where I live in Seattle, Washington. So like I said, there's a lot of tech people here, a lot of research and academics living in the area. And it's just bustling metropolis that's just continuing to grow. And so a lot more of these types of clients are coming through. And what happens is a lot of them, they are also very artistic in some way. And then also, they're also very, very left brain into their careers. And so the challenge for them oftentimes when they come to me is, how do I fuse the two? How do I be the doctor, be the best version of the doctor, but at the same time, entertain my interest in energy healing?
Sounds like me.
Yeah. So the oversoul will give them recommendations of kind of how to do it, and what they want. The oversoul typically, or whatever comes through, whether it's the guides, sometimes, past family relatives will come through to kind of give them information that's relevant to them, kind of give them direction. But typically what happens is they won't tell them how to do something or what to do, because that's for them to choose, but they will give them some suggestions and some ways to go, like, go further into working with people. That's where you're going to find the most happiness, or go further into working with animals because you're really good at that. But they won't tell you what to do or how to do it. That's your journey to decide. Right. So yeah, so I get a lot of that, and that's really where most of the kind of the confusion that many of my clients come from, is kind of how to bridge the two interests and still be able to have a normal lifestyle where they can provide for their families and have their vacations, and just have a balance in their life.
Right. Absolutely. And then by them having the balance is when they merge the two brains together, left and right.
Yeah, they find new interests. They find that I can still do video games, but then I just need to introduce some metaphysical ideas, or maybe some metaphysical characters, or maybe a storyboard that kind of touches into ancient archaeology, things that I love, and they can infuse that into their work. And now the right brain and the left brain are connected, and they're happy.
I do remember, I don't know which book it was, but I do remember a section in the book where it said that, the upgrading of the frequencies, updating the lifestyles of the left and right brain coming together, it's going to be in everything: music, art, these books, this movie. And it's like, that's the part of the, I guess you could say, ascension as well, because all that is getting upgraded in the frequency.
Right. And I think what people, and what I'm coming through in my private hypnosis practice, is people need to understand, what is your definition of what this reality is going to look like? Okay. What does it look like in medicine? What does it look like in science? What does it look like in, in just basically, the type of houses we live in? What does this reality look like to you? And oftentimes we're living in houses that are more eco-friendly. The materials that we use are much more clean and recyclable. The energy or the medicine that we're using is more holistic. It's more preventative. It's more energy healing type of modalities. The science is more quantum physics. The technology infuses a little bit more of collaboration from different people. It's a little bit more metaphysical, like holograms, those kind of stuff. So this is what it looks like. Okay, and so if everybody just works on being the best incarnation they can be, they will manifest that reality, because it's getting infused and become part of the mainstream.
Interesting.
Oh my goodness. Oh, and then the other thing is, because I get a lot of artists as well, uh,
What kind of art? Like paintings or?
musicians, and my husband's a musician too. So I
Okay.
get a lot of artists because of that. But musicians, painters, artists, different things. A lot of programmers and IT people are usually very, very artistic as well, and they infuse it into their work.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so actually Google Talks, Facebook, like I said, Google Talks, Facebook Talks, TEDx Talks. A lot of the topics are very metaphysical in nature.
Mm-hmm.
They're working to try to infuse and sync that right and left together. But for artists, the really great thing is a lot of artists are really tired, and I think people are tired of the same old stories. They're tired of the war and exploitation stories, and people, especially as they are coming into realizing that they've had previous lives in Earth and maybe even beyond Earth, they're ready for a new level of consciousness. They're ready for new material. They're ready to watch movies and read books and play video games and different things that kind of go into these different areas. So I'll give you some examples in real life, because it's all about application, and a lot of my clients are about application.
Mm-hmm.
Netflix, for example, okay, really kind of blew the TV bubble and TV stations, and just kind of blew open the gates, okay? And they're constantly looking for new materials from different screenwriters all over the place. And a lot of this material is coming through Alibaba or AliExpress in China.
Mm-hmm.
The richest man in China, and he had a great backstory as well. But anyways, he's getting into film as well, and a lot of these type of new online channels are looking for materials, and they're looking for metaphysical content, because that's what the people who are watching this are looking for. So I'll give you some examples of metaphysical type of movies and content that screenwriters and artists can kind of dig into. So Netflix, they have a really popular series called the OA. Okay, it's about reincarnation, ascension, awakening, time travel to different parallel realities, all this stuff. There's a really great movie called Yesterday. It was about Mandela effect. And the guy that kind of like woke up in a reality, and he's like, "What do you mean nobody's heard of the Beatles?" And he plays all the songs except for a couple people from the.
Oh no.
It's great, and I love my husband is a music buff, so we just like had a great time with Yesterday. Obviously all the Star Trek series, Gene Roddenberry, he was so great and pioneer in bringing all of this content into entertainment. And then, goodness, the list goes on. I mean, just look around you. All these metaphysical topics are going into entertainment, and if you're an artist, this is a great wealth of information to pull out.
Oh yeah.
And write stuff, because people they want to know about the time travel. They want to know about the parallel realities. They want to know about what it's like to live in different planets, like Avatar. Channel material. And kids love that. Oh, and even children's material. Oh my goodness, children's material is just kind of blown out as well. I watch a lot of movies.
I was hearing something about like they were getting more into like metaphysical kind of topics, and I was like, oh, okay. I forgot where. I think it was on one of those Facebook groups. So
yeah,
about it.
yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.